Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Monday. It's August 11th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And a quick look at our daily chart. You can see that it was a bearish day. We closed off the lows a little bit, but it's still a down day. Um, we made a higher high and a higher low, but we did close lower. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. It wouldn't surprise me if we continue to kind of chop up somewhat to the side, as sideways to up, but we could back off again and trade lower. It's just hard to say. So we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. But the good thing about it is we're day traders and we just follow the price action every day. So all we look at this long-term chart. This is a daily chart when I say long-term chart. The only reason we look at this daily chart is just to kind of get an idea of what prices are doing and what the longer term picture's at. And you can see we've been up for quite a while. That's probably the most significant correction we've had since this one back end of May, early June. So you can see we rarely had any pullback except for here, and we've taken most of that back now. So it looks like we are finding resistance up here. So we'll see. We might get a triple test and turn down from here. It wouldn't surprise me if this market doesn't go higher, but it is what it is, so we'll have to wait and see. Uh, but anyway, there's the daily chart. You can see it. Bearish day down. It looked like it was going to be a range early on, but before the day was over, we did trend lower. So we broke lower and trended lower. And we moved more than a measured move before recovering some of it as well. So anyway, let's flip over to the 2,000 tick chart, take a look at it. We'll go through the trades and we'll wrap this day up. Okay, here's our 2,000 tick chart, and you can see that looked like we were going to have a range day, but we failed out this. We failed out the lows and reversed and trapped people, and then we failed out the top, and we had what looks like to me as a spiking channel down. We had a break and a new low, but this thing just continued lower, and then just around before 2 o'clock, we rallied and took some of it back before backing off of that a little bit further. So mostly sideways till after lunch, and then it was downhill after lunch. And yeah, early on you pretty much had to trade this as a range, but there are some nice trends within that range as well. So one thing I did want to show you, you can see, some of you may see these buttons on here, and I talked about them slightly on a previous video, but there's two different, I got this from two different traders. The first gentleman sent me these, and I talked about them, and when the gentleman that wrote this saw my video talking about this, he shared his with me. And they're very similar. The entry works a little differently on both of them, but I'm testing them both. I believe both of them so far are working fine. But I'm going to continue to test them, and then I'm going to test them for another day or two. And once I'm confident that they're working well, I will put them up on the premium membership area. And if you are a premium member, you can download them for free. But they're fairly interesting. I'll just show you what they do here. I need to be careful on this one. Because I don't want it to trigger and put me in a trade with only 10 minutes to go in the market. It's 10 minutes to 4, so I don't want to get stuck in them. But if you click on this one, what it does is the previously completed bar, which would be this one, if you click the sell, it'll put a sell stop one tick below it, and if you put a buy, it'll put a buy stop one tick above it. And then it's set up where you can use two exits on it now. I believe the first time I showed it to you, it would only, it didn't have a second exit, so you couldn't set up a scalp and run type strategy, but now you can. And I tested that today, that worked. So that's how that one works. And it works very similar to how we would normally trade. We wait till this bar completes, and then we put our stop above it or below it. If prices break below it, we want to go short, we put our stop below it. And if we want to go long, we put our stop above it. So it works very similar to how we normally enter. Now this one, it once it triggers, it works exactly the same. But when you click this one, it puts your buy or sell stop one tick above the current or below the current bar as soon as it completes. So it does give you a really quick entry in case you needed one. But if you don't use it before that, then like if we decided after the fact we wanted to go short here, we couldn't do that. Um, so that's a little different. And once a bar completes, you can no longer put an order above or below it with this. You can only do it on the bar that's that's currently printing. So as you see here, let's just say we want to go long. All right, you can see it's green now, and if I clicked it again, it would disable that order. But that order is there waiting to go in when this bar completes. So we'll watch it a minute while I continue to talk about the chart. I may pause it here just so we don't have a longer video because I don't want this to drag out. But I'm going to pause it when we get close to this closing. I'm going to open it back up, or I'm going to start the video back, and you can watch it, what this one does as far as the orders. And then I showed you this one. Let's just say we wanted to buy. So on the other side, and I'm not saying there's a trade there or anything. I'm just trying to demonstrate this, so don't get confused here. But if we say buy, it puts that buy order one tick above that previous bar. So when it breaks above it, it would trigger that trade. And it does. You can set it for right here. Mine is set to scalp out at 15, and then oops, I better cancel that.
Order canceled.
So I don't want it to trigger, but mine's set to scalp out at 15, and then leave 5 for runners. And it doesn't move your stop on your runners or you can set your stop to come in however you want and your exit however you want, however far away you want it. And I think I have my stop set at 12 ticks and my runner set at 12 ticks. And so that gives me time to move my stop to one tick above or below the signal bar. And then actually and then it gives you a chance to, and you can move your target to wherever you want it at as well. You can set it to come in at a certain spot, but if I put mine far away, so it gives me a little room and time to move it before, in case the market was moving really quickly and I wanted to try to get a bigger runner. I don't want it hitting my runner too quick or hitting my stop too quick. So you got that opportunity. So I will actually demonstrate some of these at some point, and post them up so you can see them work, and we'll do them both at some point, and you can see how they work and get an example of them. But again, I'll make them available on the website for anybody that wants to download them that are members to our members. So, and one thing I will tell you, if you've been a member of our premium section and you've downloaded any of our free tools that we offer, always back those things up, because if you lose them and you don't have a membership anymore, you cannot I can't send them out. You can only download them from the site. And every day I get 2 or 3 people wanting me to send them something because their computer died. And I mean, it's almost become a full-time job. People are asking me to send things out and me just answering back that I can't do it that way. So if you download anything from the premium section, back it up, and including the second entry indicator, because if you lose it, if your computer crashes or you get a new computer or somebody steals your laptop and you don't have it, you're going to be out of luck if you're not still a premium member. And on the indicator, you might be out of luck altogether because I can't send that thing out. You can only download it. The way this software works, you can't email it. It has to be downloaded directly from the server, and at some point those links don't work anymore. They're not designed for you to continually come back and download your indicator you purchased. It's for a one-time download, and then you own it. It's yours. You're responsible for it from then on. And if you lose it or you lose your manual and you don't have it backed up, there's a chance you've lost it for good. So make sure you back those things up like you would any important software. I mean, they're small files. Just put them on a zip drive or a jump drive or something like that, and it's real simple to back them up. As cheap as a jump drive is now, and as easy it is to plug a jump drive into a UHF and back things up, especially something small like that, it's not like it takes 30 seconds to do that. So make sure you back those files up. Not only will it save me a lot of extra busy work and headaches, it'll save you a headache and make sure you have your software in the future should something happen to it. So just keep that in mind. But if you lose it, don't ask me to email it to you because I can't. And at some point, you can't recreate the download links for anything as well. So anything you purchase, so if you purchased a manual or the second entry indicator, back them up. And you can see that order. When this closed, there's that order right there. It looks a little different, but it will trigger. It's one tick above this bar. So it's there. If I want to disable, I just click that. And now it's gone. So, but once again, if we wanted to go along one tick above this one on the other
Order
one,
submitted.
and this one talks to you, you can hear it, you see the order. It works a little different. Just depends on, once the trade's triggered.
Order canceled.
I didn't cancel it. It must be 4 o'clock because I didn't cancel it. So yeah, the market just closes 4 o'clock. So that's interesting. It does close you out. So I think that's pretty interesting. But anyway, let's get to the chart lesson here. You can see it was really, it was almost down all day, but we really didn't trend down strongly till after lunch. We were kind of in a range. I take that back. We were in a range until after lunch, and then it trended down pretty strongly. So not a lot of trades today, but let's zoom in here and we'll go through them. No news events really today. 7 o'clock came as we're trending up here, and there's 2 legs up and a second entry short right one tick below that bar. And you can see we closed outside, new leg up. We're way away from the EMA. This being a second entry and the fact that we closed outside and we're close to previous resistance here, I like going short right there. You might even argue there's a triple test because there's a attempt to go higher right there. And then one here, then one here. And so it's not perfect, but you might argue that. But regardless, it's a second entry short with a close outside and a new high here away from the EMA. I like going short there. And if you catch that, that may be all you need today, because you're definitely going to get a runner most likely if you're trying. And we end up with a spike and channel down, but we get a close outside, a couple of swings to a new low, and it bounces at the overnight low. It's a shame we didn't get a setup here to go long. But we don't. It runs up, close outside, move to a new high, and we get another second entry short. This one's on an engulfing bar here. Notice it broke higher and failed and turned down. Because that is completely bullish, when it breaks higher and turns down, it's probably going to trap some shorts here, so you may go short right there. I don't think I'd wait till that bar closes and go short. I think I'd wait on the lower high then, because there's a good bit of stem there. Maybe it closes in its lower third. So I only made it green. But right here you get a lower second high. And you can argue that's a double bottom. So you can argue that's a second entry short even right there. And boom, off it goes. Bounces down here again. You don't get a setup to go long. It's a shame because you got a triple test now, but you just didn't get a decent signal bar. And it runs up, close outside, new high. And that's only a first entry short. It runs up. There's a second entry short right here, but no signal bar. Then it runs up and makes a second leg up, but again, the signal bar just doesn't qualify. So just not a good chance to enter. This is all too choppy right here. This one's tempting. But you can see there's only, what is that, 2 ticks in there. So it's just not worth it. You don't have room to get out. And that one's tempting, but you can't go short right into the support. Turns out to be a good move down. And then you get a close outside and another couple of legs down. We never really make a new low here, but this would be a second entry long. Technically, it's not a second entry. Here's your new high, so it's first entry, second entry, but that's technically not a new high because your new high is here. So this is just kind of a triple test across here. it's not an ideal setup. I marked it green. You're better off to wait on the higher low, and you don't get one here. But I did mark that green. Runs up, close outside, new high, and then you get a second entry short there. But that looks a little sideways and congested. I would wait on the lower high, which comes here, and there's no setup there. And then there's another, and by that time you can see we're just in a trading range here. Sideways range. We're not getting rejection off these lows yet. And you see what they end up doing when you can't take it higher. They let it fail out the bottom, and you get a chance to go long with plenty of room to scalp out again for that high. I like going long on that failed break lower. And if we've talked about this, those tend to be important lows or highs for the day, and look at the move up after that. So you may not get a runner here. Depends on how you played it. But if you can catch a runner there, man, that thing moves nicely. But notice all the way up, there's no break and lower. There's no break lower until here. So there's your first entry. You get a close outside, moves up to a new high, and you get a second entry short right there. I marked that one green. It's a true second entry by the counts. It looks like there's a couple of legs up there to me. I think you're okay there. Again, you're better off to wait on a lower high, and you just don't get a setup for that. It comes back in here, and it's just chopping sideways, breaks lower. Nothing down there. But here, you notice you get a move up, first entry. You get a close outside here, and then a second leg up. And when it breaks below that, it's a second entry, and you're expecting a retest of this low. And boom, off it goes. You get another chance to go short right here, but it's too close to the lows. And you see it does bounce. It's only temporarily, but you can't risk that. And you end up getting two legs down. And that is actually a second entry long. I did not mark it. You could actually argue for that to be at least green. Now there is a higher low here, but that just looks too sideways to me. There's not much room here in case it fails and turns back down, which it did. It just didn't stop you out before it went higher. So I just don't think there's anything there that you really want to take. And you can't go short there. And you run down, and now you have a new low there, and you get a first entry, and that's a second entry. But again, it's an engulfing bar. It's got too much stem. Maybe you get a lower high, and you do, and so you could go short there. You're not going to get anything more than a scalp out of that. And you bounce across there. Now, you could argue that there's a triple test right there, but that looks really sideways. You're not getting any rejection. It does close back inside. It's a possibility. I did not mark it. I didn't like it in real time. And you might even argue there's a higher low here, but you're too close to the trend line and you hadn't had a break yet. That's just a first entry. Although you do get a close outside and a new high, there's just not room to get out right here. You can see there's only 1 point there, so just not room. Now, again, you might say, okay, we've tested that multiple times, but look where the trend line is. It ends up not mattering, but you don't know that in advance. So no chance to go short again. But then we bounce off there again. But now you've got plenty of evidence to say, okay, this thing can go back to here. So if you've got enough room, I would probably take it. So I mark that one green. Runs up. If you'd had a good signal bar here, I'd go short, but you don't get it. And same thing here. And the bottom falls out of it. We do make the new low. So basically, to close outside here and move to a new low, and then we're working higher again. Close outside, two legs to a new high, and so I like going short on that one. It's a lower high. It's a double top. It's a lower high following a first entry, second entry. It does look a little sideways, but I still like it. I think you're fine to go short there. You can see we're working down, close outside. There's another second entry here, but I don't like that. I think it needed to break higher because you got to close outside, but you don't have a new high on that yet. And it's real close to 230. So, but that takes you into 230, and you never make a new high there, and that takes you into 230. Nothing else after that. So, There it is. Not a lot of trades today. There were a couple decent ones. Um, my experience has always been that the morning's the easier and more. There's more trades. There's more options, and it tends to feel like there's better setups. So that's been my experience. Now, somebody else may disagree with that. So, just be careful with it. But if you can trade that 7 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'm on Central Time. So if you can trade that window, that's one of the best windows to trade, in my opinion. Every now and then you get a better afternoon than morning, but for the most part, you get these really good setups like this one. And if you catch that one, that's all you need. And then you catch a second one here, and it's going to get you a run or two, depending on what your targets are like and how many. There's another, easy to get 5 points if you exit before you hit the lows. So, but this one would have given you a really nice runner down. So just keep that in mind. I really like the mornings, and I think they're one of the best opportunities to trade is that 7 to 10 a.m. window. And there's always exceptions to everything. That's just just generally, because there are days where the mornings are horrible and then you get a pretty good afternoon. But I think it's much more the other way around. I think you get much more opportunities in the morning. So I'm going to continue to test these two options here, and I'm gonna try to record a couple of trades using both of them. Maybe I can get time to do that tomorrow, and you can see exactly how they work. And both traders have said I could share it, so you can take your option of which one you tend to like the best. And we thank these traders for sharing this with us. And I know this gentleman here worked on this all weekend to add the extra exit with in case you wanted to try to trade runners. At first, he only had just one option. You buy and you exit, and that was it. But now you can use it with a scalp and run. You can buy, exit portion of it, and let the rest of them run, and then exit that second portion of them. So, and most of all is automated except moving your targets once you get in there and putting your stop where you want it. So anyway, not the best trading day, but not the worst by a long shot. So I hope you had a good trading day. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Looking forward to having a good week and testing these things and trying to get them up for you here when I can. But I want to do some more testing on them just before I hand them to you. And when I hand them to you, I can say, hey, I've tested them. I can't find any problems with them, and they tend to be working. So, but again, don't forget what we talked about earlier. Back up your software that you download from our website, from Pat's, because there's quite a few of you that don't have software that are probably disappointed um, because of the rules of not being able to email it, and you can only download it from the site. And if you don't have access to the premium section, you can't download it. And it's a lot of work for me to go, and your links for anything you purchase are one time only. And they can be recreated for a little while, but not very long, and then they're gone. And they're not designed to be coming back and forth and downloading it every time you want to use it. People get confused with that. We don't store it for you. All we do is sell it to you and give you a link to download it, and that link is dead after that, and you're on your own. So back those things up. Just stick them on a jump drive or whatever you use to back up your other software. Back it up, because there's going to come a day where you're going to need it and you're not going to have it, and you're going to be out of luck. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. And honestly, I'm really, it's a lot of busy work for me that I don't have time to do anyway. Trying to go back and recreate the links and finding out if you really made a purchase or didn't make a purchase. I mean, people send me emails. I don't think they do it on purpose, but saying, hey, they lost the manual, and come to find out they don't even never even bought a manual. They're wanting me to send them one, but they had a premium membership, and that's why they can't find their manual, because they never had one. So people get confused on that stuff over time, or maybe I guess that's what happens. But yeah, back up your stuff, please, and save me a lot of busy work, save you a lot of headaches, and the possibility of not having access to some of our tools, especially if you like them. If you don't like them, it doesn't matter. But if you like our tools, especially the free ones that you can download, well, technically they're not free because you do have to buy a premium membership. But what I charge, they're basically free. And so you got them for free and they're there, but back them up, because at some point if you don't have access to the premium section, you're not going to have access to those tools again, because I cannot email them to you. And so, unfortunately, that's the way it works. But anyway, I appreciate it. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.